Do you ever feel like you are stuck in a loop? Making the same mistakes over and over again. Dating the same person in a different body. Stuck in a job that drains the absolute life from you, and you just cannot figure out why. You have tried all the things. New habits, new routines, new strategies, but nothing sticks. It feels like pushing a boulder up a hill, only to watch it roll right back down. Every single time. What if the key to breaking that cycle is not a new strategy? What if it is not about adding something new, but about finally facing something old? What if the key is the one uncomfortable truth you have been hiding from yourself? There is a reason we stay stuck, and it is one of the most powerful and invisible forces in our lives. Self-deception. It is that quiet agreement you make with yourself to not see what is right in front of you. It is the story you tell yourself to make reality a little easier to swallow. I am just busy, you say, when really you are avoiding a tough conversation. I do not care what they think, you insist, while their opinion is keeping you up at night. Every time we choose this temporary comfort, we trade a piece of our future for a moment of peace right now. The Arbinger Institute, in their book Leadership and Self-Deception, describe this as being in the box. When you are in the box, you do not see other people or situations clearly. You see only a version of reality that justifies how you are already behaving. The box feels safe, but it is a cage. And the dangerous thing about cages is that, after long enough, they start to feel like home. Hendricks, in The Big Leap, calls this the upper limit problem. We all have a personal thermostat for how much clarity, success, and peace we allow ourselves to feel. When life starts to get genuinely better, or when the truth starts to get uncomfortably clear, something inside us reaches up and sabotages it. We manufacture drama, we numb out, we choose the familiar pain over the unfamiliar freedom. Not because the familiar is better, but because the brain has mapped it as safe. Think of it like this. Living in self-deception is like trying to navigate with a broken compass. You can have the best map in the world, but if your compass points north when you are actually headed south, you will always end up lost. That is what denial does. It quietly recalibrates your inner compass toward what feels safe, not what is true. And that stuff, the secrets and self-deceptions, does not stay buried. It shows up as chronic stress, as anxiety that seems to come from nowhere, as a pattern of self-sabotage you cannot break. You are spending so much mental energy just maintaining the illusion that you've become an actor in your own life. And that performance is exhausting. You are not actually living your life. You are managing the story you created about it. There was a time in my own life when I was profoundly stuck. I was in a career that looked perfect on the surface. Stable, respected, a clear path forward. But every single morning I would wake up with this feeling of dread in my stomach. I told myself it was just stress. I told myself I was lucky. I told myself to be more grateful. I tried everything, but I was still miserable. The truth, the one I was hiding from myself, was painfully simple. I hated it. My identity was so wrapped up in being that person, with that job title, that admitting I did not want it felt like a massive failure. It was easier to pretend. It was easier to stay in a familiar prison than to face the terrifying freedom of the unknown. That is the invisible wall of denial. Radical self-honesty. This is not about harsh self-criticism. It is the gentle, firm practice of admitting the truth to yourself about yourself, without judgment. Don Miguel Ruiz puts this at the very foundation of personal freedom. In the 4 agreements, his first agreement is this: be impeccable with your word. Most people read that as a rule about honesty with others, but Ruiz makes clear it starts before that. You cannot be impeccable with anyone else until you stop lying to yourself. Every agreement you make with the world is built on top of the agreements you make inside. If those inner agreements are built on illusion, everything above them is unstable. Self-honesty is the foundation of real self-awareness, and real self-awareness is the starting point for any meaningful change. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot heal what you refuse to name. Research suggests only about 10 to 15% of people are actually self-aware. The rest are operating with significant blind spots, convinced they are seeing the whole picture. So what does this look like? It is pausing and asking, what am I really feeling right now? Not what I think I should feel. What is actually here? It is asking, what was my true motivation for that? Was it genuine, or was I looking for approval? It is finally saying to yourself, I am not okay. This is not working. I am scared. For me, the uncomfortable truth about my career was not just that I hated it. The deeper truth was that I was terrified of disappointing my family. The deeper truth was that my self-worth was completely tied to my professional success, and the deepest truth was that I had no idea what I wanted instead. And that emptiness was petrifying. Being honest with yourself does not magically fix it, but it does something far more important. It makes the problem real. It drags it out of the shadows and into the light where you can actually work with it. Michael Singer writes about this in The Untethered Soul. He describes the voice inside your head, the one that narrates your life and defends your stories, as a roommate you have never once questioned. You would not tolerate that voice from another person. Yet you let it run your entire inner world without challenge. When you start asking that voice, is this actually true? The fog begins to lift, and for the first time in a long time, you can see where you actually are. From there, you can finally decide where you truly want to go. When you stop lying to yourself, you stop wasting energy navigating an illusion. The fog of denial lifts, and the clarity you gain is not comfort, it is freedom. This is why honesty is your greatest power. Truth without action is just information. Truth combined with courage is transformation. So how do you build this muscle? A simple practice: journaling. But not writing about your day, asking yourself hard questions. At the end of each day, write down the answers to 3 questions. What was I most afraid of today? When did I feel most like my true self today? What truth did I avoid today? Do not go with your first answer. Sit with each question. Let the uncomfortable answer surface. It is in that discomfort you will find your compass. You will start to see the patterns, the fears, the desires you have been pushing down. This is how you move from autopilot to active clarity. Visual, 2 chairs facing each other in warm evening light. Open window. Door, standing fully open with warm light beyond it. This whole journey starts inside, but it does not end there. When you build a foundation of honesty with yourself, you cannot help but become more authentic with the people around you. When your inner world and your outer world start to align, your relationships transform. You stop performing. You stop saying yes when your entire body is saying no. You stop building connections on who you think others want you to be. Brene Brown writes about this in Daring Greatly. She argues that the only path to genuine connection is vulnerability, the willingness to be seen as you actually are, not the version you have carefully constructed. Some relationships will not survive that. The ones built on your performance will fall away when the real you shows up, and that is a real loss. But it is also a necessary clearing. It makes space for people who will love the actual you. You start by freeing yourself. You end up creating a life surrounded by genuine connection. Honesty is not a burden. It is your greatest power. You cannot build a stable life on a foundation of denial. The little lies we tell ourselves to feel safe do not keep us safe. They keep us small. They keep us stuck. The Arbinger Institute, Gay Hendricks, Don Miguel Ruiz, Michael Singer, Brene Brown, all of them from different angles, point to the same truth. The cage is never locked from the outside. You have always held the key. Pause 0.8, so I will leave you with this. You do not have to share it in the comments. Just ask it of yourself. What is the one uncomfortable truth you have been avoiding? Pause 1.2s. Name it, just for you, because naming it is the first step to taking your power back.